there, Starlight.
Hi, Silver Street.
Oh, I was looking for you everywhere. I know you told me about a horse statue, but I couldn't even find this thing until I looked at it. Man, this thing is very artsy.
It has these weird creatures on it called humans.
I've heard of them as well, and they are very interesting. Walk on two legs and such. They even have these things called feet and hands. Ah, disgusting.
Professor Lyra teaches a course on them and mythological creatures.
I'll have to stop in sometime and hear her lecture. We are here for the interview. You ready to begin?
Are
Okay, thank you. Today I'm going to be asking you about your college life, letting other equine out there know what's up about college. Some fear it, some choose not to go, some have already been, and here's just a little look into the life of it. So, how did you pick the college of your choice?
It was the community college. It was the only college I could go to that FAFSA would pay for completely, and I wouldn't have to get some insane student loans that I'd be paying off for the rest of my life. So I decided to pick it so that way then when I got out of college, I wasn't in a bunch of debt.
Alright, I hear that. And if you weren't burdened with that money situation, what kind of college would you have gone to?
I could have gone to any college without paying out of pocket. Suppose I would go to a college that has brand name recognition because it's more likely to get noticed as a college that way. So probably Stanford or Oakland or Michigan State or something like that. What college I go to doesn't really matter to me.
Doesn't really matter, but this is your future. I mean, are we supposed to know about our future with college? That's where we find ourselves.
Do you realize 75% of college graduates do not get jobs in their field?
Oh, I didn't know that. So, so let me ask you, do you think you'll get a job in your field?
Well, considering my degree is in basic education, meaning I'm just getting all of the basics out of the way, I don't really have a job I'm working towards. It's more of just get all the basics out of the way and get an associate's degree so that then when I learn what I do want to do, and in case I need a college degree, I can just go back to school and get it that way, save me the intermission time if you would like have it stated that way. It's more or less just me working towards getting a piece of paper to put on a job application to help me get a foot in the door.
That piece of paper. Where would we be without it? Alright, so what courses did you pick and why?
Well, as I said, the courses I picked don't really matter. So basically, I picked the courses that had the most points or credits towards them so I could get done in the least amount of time. Instead of taking 4 years, I'm only going to take 3 years in order to get my associate's degree.
Wow, that's a pretty good tip. I mean, imagine if people could just say, you know what, I don't want to do 12 years of school. I want to only do 9 and just graduate and leave happy, free, and young. That sounds very smart. And how did you find that out?
I talked to my guidance counselor, which is something I highly recommend everyone who's thinking of going to college does, because you know what classes you're going to need, and which teachers are the best, and which courses you might want to think about taking early in the morning or late at night. Because trust me, there are a lot of crappy teachers out there in the college industry. I had one teacher that only showed up for class 3 times. She would just leave instructions on the board or email us the instructions and never show up to class. We saw her for the first day, for our midterm exams, and for our final exams. Best to go to the guidance counselor that you see the most students go and talk to, because that means the students are going and giving them complaints or feedback on professors, and so they're going to know which professors are good and which professors aren't. Don't go and talk to the guidance counselor that sits in the office with the door closed all day, because they won't know which teachers are good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Good advice. Good advice. Always remember, people, go to the guidance counselor that everybody else knows and enjoys. So obviously you can get an in and probably a little bit ahead than the other students that don't. Now, let me ask you, what do you do on your downtime in college?
Well, I primarily do art or for little downtime. I do have my own YouTube channel and a DeviantArt channel, which I in my free time I work on. Either that or I'm working on extra credits to get grades up, or I might just be doing nothing but relaxing, which is very rare but does happen on small occasions.
Yes, some people don't understand that college is very, very difficult and you get a lot of work.
Yes. College is not meant to be. A lot of people have part-time jobs or even full-time jobs when they're going to college. And the thing that people don't seem to understand is that college, when it was originally designed, was meant to be a full-time job. People that went to college were not taught to work. They were living with their families or in dorms, and their parents were the ones paying for them and helping them live. Nowadays, people are trying to work 3 jobs while go to college, and while yes, you can do that, but your work and grades will suffer because of it.
Listen to Star, she knows she's going. And I had
I've
a
met plenty of people that think they understand the concept or the class, but they just can't dedicate enough time, to get all their homework done or to study for that test, or they come to class exhausted and can't focus. And as such, they just end up
excuse me.
dropping the class
All right. By the
or
way,
dropping it.
anything you can tell people who have not been to college yet, like some advice or tips, even on a hint on what to expect.
Yeah, college is a lot of work, and if you're a physical learner, I recommend you go to a trade school instead. It will shorten your time and it's a hand-on learning experience. If you're a person that learns best by reading or hearing lectures, then go to college. That's my advice for you.
Excellent. So, before we go with this part of the interview, let me ask you, if you had to choose to be either a dean, a principal, a professor, or just a guidance counselor, which would you choose and why?
I choose a guidance counselor because technically you only have to. Realistically, the only time you actually have work to get done, which don't get me wrong, they work all semester doing paperwork and stuff like that, but the only time they're really busy is when there's a function coming up or when people are scheduling classes. The rest of the time, they have a relatively easy workload. And they also get to hang out with students and interact with them, which is nice. Plus, they get to plan all the cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Once again, people, guidance counselors, they can become your friends as long as you trust them and show them that you are ready for college.
Ready, set.
Oh, wait now a second. We've got a huge party coming up for all of you. Now here's the thing. We need people for Silver Says. Yes, I have a few people lined up for this, but remember, the whole point of this channel is for all of us to come together and have fun as fans. So, if you want to talk about an interesting topic with Silverstream, just come up and message me on Twitter, or even if you have me on Google+, message me there, and we'll see what we can do. Take care, everybody.